On today's edition of Public Eye News, extreme flooding occurs in Venice, and registration opens for the Becoming an Outdoors Women event.
Maya Kurth has the weather forecast, and later Michael Banks takes a look at our sports. Hi, I'm Joseph Sigourney.
I'm Todd Rose. Stay tuned for your Public Eye News. Once again, the winter season will feature the Becoming an Outdoors Women event. The event, which is being held for the 19th time, is sponsored by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. The DNR-hosted event allows a laid-back, non-competitive atmosphere for area women over the age of 18 to improve their outdoor skills. Over 24 different indoor and outdoor activities can be chosen from over the course of the multi-day event, including skiing, archery, shelter building, and many others. Participants will stay in dorm-like living quarters for the duration of the event. The event will take place at the Bay Cliff Health Camp February 21st through 23rd. And police in Houghton are on the search for a man who broke into the Aspirus Houghton Clinic Tuesday. Authorities responded to an alarm at the facility just after 3 a.m. to find a broken window and the man already gone. However, the man was caught on security cameras at the clinic, but police say nothing was taken from the facility.
The Marquette City Commission selected Jenna Smith as the new mayor of Marquette on Tuesday evening. Mayor Smith has been on the Marquette City Commission for 2 years and is replacing former Mayor Fred Stonehouse. Smith is the first woman to serve as Marquette's mayor since 1980, and Mayor Smith says she's looking forward to addressing issues such as the affordable housing in the city and climate change along our lakeshore. And police are looking for a missing teenager last seen Friday, November 8th in Menominee. Menominee City Police Department say 17-year-old Kristen Hope Gramonski was reported missing Monday. Her last known location was on 1st Street in the city of Menominee. If anyone knows of Gramonski's whereabouts or anyone who thinks she may have seen her should call the Menominee Police Department at 906-863-5568 or dial 911.
Dean Foods is in financial danger as they prepare to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. In 8 of the last 10 quarters, Dean Foods has seen a loss of money, with declining sales being seen in 7 of the last 8. The company is expected to be up for sale, with the primary thought at this time is that it will be purchased by the dairy farmers of America. And with deer season just days away and the holidays following in tow, some may be disappointed to hear the next bit of news. The state of Michigan is currently experiencing a shortage of liquor. The shortage was caused because of a software-related error at one of the state's distribution centers. The Michigan Liquor Control Commission says they are working to make sure shelves are stocked for the coming month of holiday celebrations. And keep it locked here, because after this break, we'll be back with a look at what's happening around the states and around the world.
Creatures come both great and small, but it's the Goliaths that capture our attention. Being big has advantages, but it also comes with challenges. Find out how these oversized animals overcome life's big problems.
Tonight at 8 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. The father of an 11-month-old baby in Philadelphia is facing charges after using his own son as a human shield after a drug deal went wrong. Nafez Monroe, 25, and the 11-month-old were in the back of a car October 19th when the boy was shot 4 times. Around the time of the shooting, investigators say Monroe was using counterfeit money to buy drugs. After the shooting, Monroe allegedly did not take his son to the hospital immediately and instead drove to a home about 10 minutes away before finally dropping him off at a medical center where he remains in critical condition at the hospital nearly a month after the shooting. Monroe will face charges of reckless endangerment and child endangerment. And floodwaters have swamped one of the world's most popular tourist destinations. A state of disaster has been declared in Venice, where at least 2 people have died in the flooding. CBS's Sydney Palm has the latest from London.
One of Venice's most famous attractions, St. Mark's Square, looks like a lake with more than 3 feet of water filling the historic site. One man made the most of it with a late-night swim. Water also flooded St. Mark's Basilica, including the cathedral's crypt. This resident says she's never seen anything like this in her life. The water reached over 6 feet at its peak, forcing people to wear rubber boots and use raised walkways.
Hard to look fashionable in Venice when you're slopping around in the rain, but like I said, it's still a beautiful experience.
In this Italian lagoon city known for its gondola rides, the small boats are now beached. High tides trashed hotels and flooded stores. This shopkeeper says there's something to cry about. More than 85% of Venice is flooded. The mayor blamed the intense tides on climate change and called the flooding a wound that will leave a permanent mark. Cindy Palm, CBS News.
A top diplomat took to the stand today to testify that President Donald Trump was talking about the investigations which he allegedly wanted Ukraine to pursue. The information from William Taylor, a top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, opened the hearings earlier today. Taylor said that it was his staff that overheard the president's conversation. California Republican Devin Nunes argued that the information is not inappropriate nor impeachable, saying the president, quote, would have a perfectly good reason for wanting to find out what happened, end quote. This, of course, in regards to possible Ukrainian meddling in the 2016 election. The only thing for sure at this point is this will be a big story in the weeks and months ahead. And a new initiative is using empty lockers to fill a need within the homeless community. One man shares how the space is helping him get back on his feet. CBS's Gwen Baumgartner reports from London.
This London storefront is home for David Fussell. An aspiring filmmaker, he's been sleeping on the street for 5 years.
I came to London with very little other than the clothes on my back and a hard drive in my rucksack.
Since then, he's saved up to buy film equipment. But more possessions present another challenge.
The one thing that shocked me when I was here, that there was nowhere to store your stuff.
Fussell found help a mile down the road at a charity called Street Storage.
Clothes, shoes, artwork, photographs. We do document storage as well, obviously, so IDs, passports.
The first space of its kind in London provides a free and secure place for those who don't have a home to store their things for the short or long term.
There it is.
Founder Rachel Wolf says while many charities focus on food and clothing, the need for storage is often overlooked.
How can you go to a job interview with a sleeping bag and a metal pot to cook your food in?
She says having a place to keep that stuff can open new doors.
And if you take away the identifying factor of them being homeless, the interviewer, for whatever job it is, whether that's McDonald's or whether that's a high-flying web development job, they have a level playing field.
Close to 100 people are using the lockers.
If only we can make this bigger and have more places like that for people, it would help them in a big way to put themselves back on their feet and start again.
For Fussell, it's all about moving forward. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, London.
Poland's prime minister has written to streaming company Netflix, insisting on changes to The Devil Next Door, a documentary about Nazi death camps. Maciej Morawiecki said a map shown in the series locates the death camps within modern-day Poland's borders. This misrepresents Poland as being responsible for the death camps when it was actually occupied by Germany in World War II. Netflix said it was aware of the concerns regarding the documentary. And stay tuned, because after this break, Maya Kurth will have our weather and Mike Banks with sports.
At least you got there.
Yeah.
It's you I like.
Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this. It's the one where you can blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers. It's you I like.
Thursday night at 9 on WNMU TV.
Hi, I'm Maya Kurth, your weather forecast today. Currently, we're looking at the NMU Skycam. It's snowy. Classes are winding down for the day. Moving to our current conditions, it's also pretty snowy. 18 degrees, south-southwest winds at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 30 inches and rising. And tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy, low of 20 degrees. West winds at 8 to 19 miles per hour. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 34 degrees, and west-northwest winds at 12 to 19 miles per hour. And moving to the Upper Peninsula on the eastern side of the state in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 25, 25 in Manistee, 20 in Escanaba, 20 in Menominee. Moving to the western side of the state in Iron Mountain, 18 degrees, 19 in Ironwood, 20 in Houghton, and 18 in Snowy back here in Marquette. All right, now looking ahead. On Friday, we have a high of 28 degrees, low of 17, mostly cloudy. On Saturday, a high of 36, low of 30, and mostly cloudy. And on Sunday, a high of 36, low of 30, and possibly some snow showers. Now, Mike, I hear the weather's pretty cloudy, but you have a story to tell me about a basketball player who also has some cloudy judgment.
Yeah, today we start with Miami's Heat Dion Waiters getting suspended for 10 games after consuming edibles on a plane ride to Los Angeles. Waiters reportedly had the gummies before the plane ride and was passed out when the plane landed. He had a seizure when he was finally woken up. Waiters reportedly received the gummies from a teammate but refuses to say from who. Waiters is missing out on about $835,000 in salary. Waiters still has not played in the 2019-2020 NBA season. He will miss 8 more games before he can make his season debut. Moving on to the Lakers, they bounced back after a tough loss to the Toronto Raptors on Sunday night. Last night, they played the Phoenix Suns as LeBron James continues to play great at point guard with 19 points and 11 assists. Anthony Davis added with 24 points and 12 rebounds, and Kyle Kuzma scored a season high with 23 points. Devin Booker played great for the Suns, scoring 21 points and 9 assists, while Ricky Rubio scored 21 points with 10 assists. Lakers' next game is tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Moving on to college football, the NCAA investigation into Ohio State defensive end Chase Young has ended. Ohio State announced Wednesday that Young will miss 1 additional game but will be eligible to return in time for November 23rd showdown against Penn State. Young was suspended indefinitely ahead of last week's game against Maryland for accepting loan money. Young leads the nation with 13.5 sacks in 8 games and is considered a top prospect in the 2020 NFL Draft. His availability is moving forward is important for Ohio State's college football hopes. So Joe, I heard you had a story about elephants.
Yeah, elephant dung is now being used by South African gin makers and is said not to be a gimmick. Infusing their gin with the elephant dung, the creators of gin says that all the fruits and flowers that elephants eat are less than a third digested, and that allows a lot of the flavor to pass into the spirit. The bottles of gins are now hitting the shelf and cost just around $32. And get this, a South Carolina man who went to a McDonald's for sweet tea says he received a little extra herbal substance on the side. Parrish Brown went to a McDonald's and asked for a sweet tea with light ice and extra lemon. Brown now believes that extra lemon was a code for marijuana since he found not 1, not 2, but 3 bags of weed in his cup. He says he only realized it once when he was, quote, high as a kite. Brown says he never had marijuana, so he didn't recognize the taste, and he says he paid regular price for the items. A representative from McDonald's said the company is fully cooperating with the law enforcement on the validity of this claim. And that is all the time we have here on Public Eye News. I am Joseph Sigourney.
And I'm Mike Banks.
And thank you for watching and have a nice evening.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.